So children, we have seen the lesson. We studied about the food, different types of food, what are the importance of different kinds of food and all, isn't it? So now we are on to the exercise part of the lesson, and here we need to tell, here we need to do some activities with based on the content that we have learned from the lesson. Okay. Now the exercise part starts with a true or false question. There are 5 sentences given, which actually are basically from the lesson that we have learned. Okay. So now what we need to do is we should read these sentences and check whether they are right or wrong. Okay. So they should be checked whether right or wrong, and if they are right, then we should click the true box, and if they are wrong, then we should click the false box. Okay. What we need to do is we need to check whether the statement given here agree with the concept that we have learned in the lesson. Okay. Whether they agree with the concept that we have learned in the lesson. So first one, food gives us energy. Food gives us energy. I've told you while dealing with the lesson, after playing for a while or doing something, we become tired. We lose all our energy when we become tired. And when we become tired, we just go aside, drink something, milk or juice or something like that, or go and eat some snacks or something like that. Then, after a while, we become energetic. Okay, so where did we get that energy from? The food we eat or the drink we drank. So, food gives us energy is a true statement. Right? Food is not our basic need. So, basic need is something without which we cannot live. If that is not there, then we cannot live. For example, without air, is it possible for us to live? If there is no air, is it possible for us to live? No. Same is the case with the food also. If there is no food, we cannot live. Isn't it? So, food is our basic need. So, the answer is false. Okay. Now, proteins help us to grow. Yeah. It's a bodybuilding food now. Proteins help us to grow. So, that is a true statement because proteins are a bodybuilding. So, when the body builds, we grow. Okay. Now, we eat both cooked and raw food. Cooked food like chapati or paratha or puri, idli, dosha, isn't it? So all these kinds of things are cooked food, whereas when we eat apples, orange, grapes, pineapple, kind of fruits, they are not being cooked. Isn't it? So we eat both cooked and uncooked food or a raw food. Isn't it? So the statement is true again. Now the next one, we eat meals 6 times a day. 6 times a day. No. In the lesson we saw, we ate something in the morning that is called a breakfast. We ate food at noon. Afternoon we call it lunch. And the food that we eat at night, we call it a supper. So food is taken actually 3 times a day. Morning, afternoon, night. Breakfast, lunch and supper. Isn't it? So food is taken only at 3 times a day. So 6 times is a wrong answer. So I click false. Right? So food gives us energy is a right statement. Food is not our basic need is a wrong statement because food is our basic need. Proteins help us to grow is a true statement because proteins are known as bodybuilding food. We eat food both cooked and raw. It's a true statement because fruits we eat raw and some vegetables we eat cooked. We eat meals 6 times a day is a wrong answer because we hardly eat 3 times a day. Right? So now you will have a minute's time to observe these questions and answers, and after that we will go on to the next question. Okay. So children, shall we go on to the next question? It's a fill in the blanks with appropriate words. Look for the clues. So here are 5 sentences taken from the lesson food, and we have a drag and drop box here with the options available. So what all we need to do is read the question one by one, select the answers and drop it at the appropriate boxes. Okay. So we need food to dash is the first sentence. We need food to dash. So what is the answer? Yeah, grow is the answer. We need food to grow. We eat food both dash and dash. Cooked and uncooked. Okay. So cooked is here. Uncooked is not there, but raw is there. Okay. So we eat food both cooked and raw. Both the kinds of food are eaten by us. We should have a dash diet. So I've told you the food that we eat should have carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals, vitamin and water. And if our food have all these elements in the required manner, then that is called a balanced diet. Okay, that is called a balanced diet. Now, fruits and vegetables are protective food because they have a lot of minerals and vitamins inside it, and they help us to keep diseases away. They protect us from the attacks of diseases and illness. So that is called a protective food. Butter, oil and ghee contain what? Fats, from which we get energy. Isn't it? Good. Now, I'll read the sentences one by one, and after that I will leave you for a while so that you can read the sentences one by one. Okay. Now, we need food to grow. We need food to grow. We eat food both cooked and raw. We eat food both cooked and raw means uncooked. We should have a balanced diet. The food that we eat should have the nutrients like the proteins, minerals, vitamin, carbohydrates and fats along with the water. So such a diet is called a balanced diet. Fruits and vegetables are called protective food because they are a bodybuilding food. Butter, oil and ghee contain dash fats. Okay. So now you have 1 minute time so that we can go through the sentences, and after that we will go on to the next question. Right, children, now we will go on to the next question. Match the following. So some food items are given here like sugar, milk, fruits, pulses and butter. and we need to identify what kind of a food that is from the options given here. Okay, sugar. So sugar, I think in the previous class we considered sugar as an example for a carbohydrate. Okay, milk is a wholesome food. It has all the nutrients inside it, so milk is a wholesome food. Fruits have vitamins and minerals inside it, and they are known as a protective food. Pulses are basically grams which has a rich protein content, and they are known as a bodybuilding food, and butter has a good amount of fat in it. Okay, so sugar is an example for carbohydrate. Milk is a wholesome food because it has all the major nutrient contents required for our body. Fruits are protective food because they are sources for a good amount of vitamins and minerals. Pulses are bodybuilding food because they have rich protein content, and butter includes fat. Okay, so shall we go on to the next question? Take G for good and B for bad eating habits. So towards the end of the lesson, I think we have learnt about some good eating habits also. Okay, so this is based on that particular thing. So one by one we will read the sentences given over there and identify whether they are good eating practices or bad eating practices. Sentence number 1. I eat a lot of green vegetables. Eating a lot of green vegetable is a good habit, so we click good for that. I can miss my meals. No, isn't it? Because the last point in the good food manners was do not miss a meal, isn't it? So missing a meal is not a good habit. I drink 2 glasses of milk every day. Yeah, it's a good habit because milk is a wholesome food. It has all the nutrient elements required for our body, and it's good for us to drink 2 glasses of milk every day. I eat a fruit daily. Yeah, I eat a fruit daily. Fruits and vegetables should be eaten daily. I eat chips, toffees and pizzas daily. The last sentence. Chips, toffees and pizzas, they are called junk food. They have a high amount of fat inside it, and our body doesn't require those extra fats. If we eat those food continuously, the extra fat will get accumulated in our body, and we may also become very fatty. That's it. Okay, so they are known as junk food, and we should not eat it continuously or on a daily basis. Okay, so now I eat chips, toffees and pizzas daily is a bad food habit. Now I will read this particular exercise once, and then I will let you have a minute's time. Okay, I eat a lot of green vegetables is a good eating habit. I can miss my meals is a bad habit because we should not miss a meal. I drink 2 glasses of milk daily. It's a good habit because milk is a wholesome food. I eat a fruit daily. It's a good habit because we need to eat fruit daily because fruits and vegetables has a lot of minerals and vitamins. I eat chips, toffees and pizzas daily is a bad habit because they are known as a junk food. Now you have 1 minute's time, and after that we will go on to the next question. Okay. Okay, children. Now we'll go on to the next question. So here we need to write examples for the food items mentioned there. Okay, what we need to do is to write examples for the food items given over there. Okay, so two protective food. Protective foods are nothing else but fruits and vegetables. So for fruit I write mango here, and here I write tomato. So mango is a fruit, tomato is a vegetable. So fruits and vegetables are the major protective food. Now, energy giving food. Energy giving food are of two types. One gives us carbohydrates and second gives us fat. Okay. So whatever. A major energy giving food is sugar, and another important food that we eat is rice. Right. Now, two bodybuilding food. Food which is rich in proteins. Eggs are very rich in proteins. Same is the case of fish also. Okay. So eggs and fish are rich in proteins and they are bodybuilding food. Food that can be eaten raw. Fruits and some vegetables can be eaten raw. So I will write apple and banana over there. Food that can be eaten cooked. A rice is something that we eat only after cooking, isn't it? And some other grains like wheat, barley, jowar also we can eat only after cooking it. Food that can be eaten raw or uncooked. A food that can be eaten raw. So what is it? One is a carrot, the other is tomato. Okay, so we have completed this exercise by adding two examples each for each of the descriptions given there. So protective foods are mango and tomato. Energy giving foods are sugar and rice. Bodybuilding foods are egg and fish. Food that can be eaten raw are apple and banana. Food that can be eaten cooked, rice and grain. Food that can be eaten raw or cooked, carrot and tomato. Okay, children, now we'll go on to the next question. It's answer the following questions. So there are some questions asked here based on the lesson and we need to find the answers for them. The first question is, why do we need food? What is a need for us to have food? The answer is, we need food to live, to grow and to get energy. If we have to live on this earth, we should be grown up, we should grow up and we should have a lot of energy. So it is for these two things, to grow, to live and to get energy, we eat food. So the answer is, we need food to live, to grow and to get energy. Okay. Second question. Where do you get food from? Where do you get food from? We get the food from plants and animals. So where do we get the food from? We get the food from plants and animals. Okay. Third question. What is energy giving food? What do you mean by energy giving food? Answer. Food that contains fat and carbohydrates is called energy giving food. So what do you mean by energy giving food? Food that contains fat and carbohydrates. Fats and carbohydrates are a rich content of energy giving food. Next question. What is protective food? Fourth question. What is protective food? Food which contains vitamins and minerals is called protective food. It protects us from diseases. Example, fruits and vegetables. So protective food is that food which protects us from the diseases. So they contain vitamins and minerals and they are fruits and vegetables. Fifth question. What is a balanced diet? So what do you mean by a balanced diet? In the lesson we saw we should eat a balanced diet. So what do you mean by a balanced diet? A diet that contains carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals and water is called a balanced diet. A diet of food that contains carbohydrates, fats are there, proteins are there, vitamins are there, minerals are there and water is also there. Then it is called a balanced diet. Okay. So now we will read these question answers once again and after that I will let you have some time to look at them. Why do we need food? We need food to live, to grow and to get energy. Where do we get the food from? We get the food from plants and animals. What is energy giving food? Food that contains fat and carbohydrates is called energy giving food. Example, sugar, butter, bread, oil, etc. What is protective food? The food which contains vitamins and minerals are called protective food. It protects us from diseases. Example, fruits and vegetables. What is a balanced diet? Question number 5. A diet that contains carbohydrate, fat, protein, vitamin, minerals and water is called a balanced diet. Right? So now you have a 2 minutes time to look at these questions and answers. So now we have come on to the last activity here. It's we get food from plants and animals. Recognize the sources of these food. Check P for plants, A for animals. Okay. So what we need to do is in the lesson we have learned we get food from both plants and animals. So here are some food items given. What we need to do is we need to identify whether we get them from animals or plants. Okay. So from where do we get this food? So the first diagram we see some bananas are there, some apples are there. So where do we get these from? From plant or animal? Yeah, these are fruits, and the fruits we get from plants. Okay. Now, in the second diagram we see flesh, meat, isn't it? Meat, do we get meat from plants? No, we won't get any meat from plants. We always get meat from animals. Okay, it's given wrong here. We get a meat from animals. Now, we have some grains here. Some dal, some beans, some, isn't it? Yeah. Where do we get these things from? Yeah, they are actually given by plants. And the last diagram is a glass of milk, and the milk we get from cows and buffaloes, and they are animals. Okay. So fruits and vegetables we get from plants, meat we get from animals. Meat we get from animals. There is a small mistake here. Leave it, okay? Here we have black grams, moong dal, urad dal, pulses, beans, kinds of things are there. And they we get from plants. And the last diagram is a cup of milk. And milk we get from cows and buffaloes, and they are animals. Right? So now you have a minute time to observe this. So you can observe it even after this. So that's the end of the first lesson, and we will be back again with the second lesson. Okay? Till then, take care.